the skeletons never stop coming out of the closet.
They never stop.
They never stop. However, it exemplifies the level of hypocrisy within the Clinton campaign. They have no respect for anyone really, and even in their own base, and let alone the American people in general. Certainly none of Trump's people. But I mean, those comments about the Catholic Church are like absolutely appalling. Then saying, "Oh well, they can't be evangelicals," so now you've made fun of them. And for anyone, in the evangelical or Catholic community, to vote for Clinton is insane. It's absolutely insane.
What they figure their ace in the hole is they have like documented Clinton surrogate Chris Hayes, who now you see that thing came out in the leaks where they script, our impromptu phone interview, all scripted.
Yeah.
Chris Hayes gives her the questions.
Well, Brazil did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And she was at CNN. And then she lied about it, of course. So, yeah, it's now the big question is, except for people like Political Pals and our friend James O'Keefe, who's talking about this? That's the key issue. You don't see the New York Times really talking about it.
Well, the New York Times is a Clinton surrogate, just like Dennis the Menace's dad.
Yeah, just like the Washington Post.
But that's my new nickname for Rachel Maddow.
Oh,
because she looks like Dennis the Menace's dad, right? From the original Dennis the Menace.
She does.
She looks just like his dad.
I didn't pick up on that until you said that.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not going to report on anything. Do you think Clinton surrogate Steve Colbert will make any joke about the corruption of Clinton? Like, knowing Saudi Arabia is funding ISIS and still taking money and $500,000 in jewelry as a gift? You think he'll crack a joke about that? No, he'll just stay on Trump all day long.
Well, and much to the delight of his network, because that's what they want, or Chuck Harwood, and
because these are smart people. Colbert clearly knows Clinton should be in jail, but yet He'll just make jokes about Trump. And
well, for them, it's all about money. It's about getting that paycheck.
Right.
So that's their shtick, and great. Ethics. They'll make joke about Trump's morality, and they have no morality themselves whatsoever. They're doing a disservice to the whole country because they aren't being honest.
Well, it's completely losing. Legacy media is losing all credibility because they're not even reporting any news.
Yeah,
they're like
it's
Pravda.
Gone. It's gone, and also the moral outrage that should be coming out is totally absent.
Well,
Bob Woodward.
I mean, it's there on the web because, there are independent journalists, even though YouTube is suppressing all their channels and demonetizing them and not allowing...
O'Keefe got kicked off Twitter.
Right. So they're doing everything possible to shut it down.
The only place, I saw it this morning, the only place that O'Keefe could get a voice was Fox Business. And he thanked them for putting him on because he said everybody else wants to shut him up, including Twitter. And of course Facebook, same thing. So it's all the pseudo-intellectual elitists who don't want any truth coming out. Just keep them stupid. I mean, they're fine. They're stupid. They'll vote for Hillary.
And judging from the email leaks, that's what they think of the plebeians.
Right.
That's what they think of the peasants. They're just stupid and to be used. Like, Black Lives Matter, talk to them, but don't give them any real policy. Don't give them any real policy.
No, in fact, if you keep them in poverty, they're even more beholden to you. They have to give you the vote. That's the whole idea.
Don't worry. Bill Maher will make some great joke about how great Hillary is and about what a monster Trump is. And all his intellectual liberals will follow his jokes. Don't worry, Colbert will make some jokes. Daily Show will make some jokes.
You know, though,
John Daly will go out there and shill for us. We got Bono. Bono's shilling for us. What have we got to worry about?
to me, it makes me wonder about the moral compass of these people who are themselves hypocritical for playing along with this thing.
Well, and they all know. Dennis the Menace's dad knows she should be in jail. They all know. Comey knows. Donald Brazil knows. Obama knows. But the thing is that she'll bring all of them with him.
Yeah.
All of them.
Or she'll take them all down.
Yeah.
So they have to go with them. But
and Bubba Bill. And the Bushes, because they're part of the Bush cabal. I mean, that's all becoming clear now, too. You know, you've got Romney and even Glenn Beck is with her now.
Yeah.
Glenn Beck is with her.
Well, he always was an idiot anyway.
Well, he's working for CNN now, so that's requirement for a CNN job is to be with her.
Yeah.
You know,
the Clinton, even last night, Sean Hannity called it the Clinton News Network. So, yeah, I even what's happening at Fox now that Roger Ailes is out is that they're trying to move further to the left. And so you see Megyn Kelly, even O'Reilly, drifting, away from Trump and giving a harder time to him than to Hillary.
It's because establishment Republicans hate Trump, establishment Democrats hate Trump, big business hates Trump, Wall Street hates Trump, big pharma hates Trump, the media hates Trump, which is all the reasons to like Trump. Which actually give you a reason to like Trump because they all hate Trump. None of them are supporting Trump. They're all supporting a swarmy sick old lady.
Yeah.
Where they have to rotoscope in her eyes poorly, but to not show them crossing in a Parkinson's stage 4 sort of way.
Well, it's true, and it's basically creating a new media opportunity because with the internet, everybody has an opportunity to get access to anything that's on the internet.
Right.
And so if you can create a real news and entertainment network, people would flock to it.
Well, that's the point. People have to go to independent bloggers and YouTubers to get the real news because they're not going to get it from Chuck Wad. They're not going to get it from Vanderbilt Kid.
No.
Or that shiny lemon. Or Dennis's dad, or documented Clinton Foundation donor Judy Woodruff,
right? Or George Stephanopoulos.
Documented former Clinton employee and Clinton Foundation donor, documented.
Yeah.
All late night comedians, all shills.
Yeah. Well, and of course, if you want a job in Hollywood, you better fall in line, otherwise. You're going to be in trouble because you've got Mr. Katzenberg doing his $300,000 and Mr. Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio and all these other stooges, JT, another one. But the thing they don't get is that the people are not really listening to them. That's why thousands of people show up for a Trump rally because he's actually speaking to them. He knows their lives aren't better. I mean, I think he's become more aware of it as he's been campaigning because he goes out and meets with people, and he's even kind of said that in a sort of semi-self-amazed way that, gee, I really didn't know it was so bad out here until I met these people and I saw what was going on. Now, from a grand business perspective, he knew what was going on just because if you have $800 billion being shipped out of the country every year, pretty soon it adds up to real money.
Well, and it even comes out in the email leaks that Clinton says in her speeches, I don't know what the heck's going on with regular people because of the great life I have and all the money I have. She hasn't driven a car in over 30 years. I mean, her whole life is closed door, white noise maker in front of Hampton's big money donor dinners. And if she gets people to show up, it's because Samantha Ronson throws a DJ concert before to draw people in. Not reported. Chuck Wad won't report that. Chris Hayes will just send her his his pre-done questions so that in the comfort of her own home, take after take, she can just, rattle them off.
Well, it's a sad state, but I also think the leaks aren't over yet. They're going to keep coming out, and the reason that they didn't dump them all out at once was because it would be too overwhelming. I mean, look at all the stuff they've leaked out in the last 2 days.
Well,
It's hard.
can you imagine what the Washington Post must be doing, going through every Howard Stern show, searching for anything that Trump says, anything bad, just going through tape after tape, searching. God, we got to find Trump.
But one must question why the New York Times is out there searching around for women who said they were groped. Of course, this is their opportunity to get some money because, on the heels of this Access Hollywood thing, that we can say that we were groped. So at any rate, it's not focusing on what the major problems of the country are, which is jobs and safety.
Or what the problems of the world are. Now they're calling no-fly zone humanitarian zone. And the fact that HRC took money from the Saudis knowing they're funding ISIS is treason. It's basically treason.
Yeah.
Straight up treason. So what's worse, treason or talking with little Billy Bush of the Bush family, who's probably bullied women his whole life because he can, because he's a Bush. He's a little Billy Bush.
Yeah.
That or treason? Where does it go on your scale?
I have a real hard time voting for a treasonous person.
Right. The only problem is Dennis the Menace's dad will never talk about it. All he'll do is talk about, freaking, Trump. He's such a monster.
Yeah.
In a snarky, devil may care, aren't I so much smarter than everybody else sort of way.
Another thing which gets no attention is Hillary's health. And I wonder whether she's even going to make it to the election. I mean, she could drop over and then we have a surrogate.
Well,
a look-alike saying, and Bill would be like, hey, this one's really hotter than her, so why don't we use her?
Well, they already have. There's two body doubles that they use.
Yeah.
And they have a voice double. And, that Scooby van she rides around in is really an ambulance.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's quote-unquote New York apartment is really a medical clinic.
Yeah.
And it's still listed in an address as a medical clinic. They bought a medical clinic, of course, probably with Clinton Foundation money given to them by Saudi Arabia. And they call it one of Chelsea's apartments.
Yeah.
Well,
and the Russian connection, they don't talk about the $145 million donation she got for giving Russia uranium.
Right. And Trump is the one who's in bed with Russia.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that, even if Russia was doing the leaks, was hacking, which they're not, but if they were, it would be to basically save the planet from nuclear annihilation from that crazy old woman?
One would think. But here's a sort of funny thing. If you are such a sociopath that you just constantly lie, you say anything, it's you have no conscience about literally anything because you're walking across everybody who's supposedly supporting you. And yet, I wonder how many people are going to change their vote after seeing these things. And then they start, why don't we just deny it? Nobody can say we actually got this. Well, Hillary already threw that out the window because she already knew that those were real, and so she already said, well, when I said that, I was thinking like Abraham Lincoln. Really? So, and Podesta hasn't denied anything. He just said, well, I don't know that, But, to go after, when you're looking at the Latin vote, the Hispanic vote, which is predominantly in Catholic, and you start putting down Catholics, when are they going to wake up and say, does she really have our best interest? She doesn't really give a damn about us.
Well, they're hoping that the media blackout, because there's a blackout at CNN about about talking about Bill, what's his name, Danny Williams, Bill Clinton's son. Total blackout. Can't talk about that. Don't you hope Trump puts him in the front row of the next debate.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I think this next debate's going to be tremendously exciting. But I hope, and for the main reason is that Chris Wallace is going to focus his questions in not on gotcha, on what exactly are you going to do to make the place better. How are you going to make America great again, essentially? So Hillary is so thin on that, she's going to say, go to my website.
And we're going to break down barriers. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to help the middle class. And I'm going to make the rich pay their fair share. When, of course, we all know that she has a public persona, a public thing and a private thing. Of course, she's just referring to Abraham Lincoln when she talks about it. She's trying to be like Abraham Lincoln.
It's, one would even think that the media elite would be embarrassed just by that whole concept of that thought, because it's like, who are you kidding? You're the most corrupt person ever to run for the highest office in the country.
Well, clearly they're all getting orders from the very, very top. It's like they tell Dennis the Menace's dad, you want to keep that $7 million a year salary, buddy? They're telling Colbert, you want to keep your job?
Yeah.
No, stick with the Trump jokes, punk.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably making $10 million,
Yeah.
And so of course he feels for the little people.
Yeah, you want to keep your job? I don't know about Bill Maher. I just think he's crazy and elitist, basically.
He's part of the Time Warner
cabal. I mean,
yeah.
They're the same. The Clintons and the Bushes are the same thing. They're the same damn thing.
Yep.
And,
yeah, the Bushes were just there before them. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm convinced now. They're saying, "Oh man, Al Gore, Nader, Al Gore would have gone into Iraq too. Would have been no different. Looking at things now, it would have been no different. He's part of that whole cabal.
Well, they're all the same. And so here's the interesting part. Did you see the James O'Keefe piece where the head of elections in New York City?
Yeah.
But Hillary doesn't want someone to have to show an ID. What the hell is up with this? Oh, it's keeping blacks from voting. Why? They don't have IDs? I mean, they don't have a driver's license or a public ID. Are you kidding me? And what do? They put on the burqas, and so therefore nobody says anything to them. They just bust them from one place to the other. This is absolutely insane. So, yeah, we're
And O'Keefe evidently has the death blow coming out next week.
Yeah.
He's got more.
Well, and I don't think WikiLeaks is through either.
They're only 2% of the Podesta emails. They've only just begun on this stuff. It's going to be dripping every day. So, man, Washington Post and New York Times and CSNBC and CNN, they just got to be shifting through tapes to find anything Trump said derogatory about women, and then just splash the headlines with it right next to a completely fabricated poll showing Hillary crushing, with another article of Clinton landslide, and just to demoralize people from thinking it's inevitable. Because I talk to plenty of people who just think it's inevitable, and part of it is because they don't feel that they even have a choice anymore, that it's already been decided in a back room. It also came out, Hillary Clinton decided trained SEAL Tim Kaine, Republican Tim Kaine, would be her VP pick as of last year.
Yeah.
They had it all figured out until that Bernie Sanders came along.
Yeah.
And boy, they sure took care of him, man. He's become a spineless jellyfish now. Oh no, yeah, my supporters totally live in a basement. No, she didn't do anything wrong with the election. Hillary Clinton, we got to stop Trump. Come on, vote for Hillary. She doesn't represent the establishment.
Yeah, this is a very simple election. You stick with the establishment that's doing nothing except screwing the country up, or you make a change. And it's time for a change.
And the establishment wants chaos and war, and that's pretty clear. And these Red Scare tactics, Hillary camp has taken us back to McCarthyism, and nobody sees it because there's no real journalism except for what you can find independently.
Yeah.
The regular legacy media is not even real journalism anymore.
Yeah.
They're not reporting on anything. All they're reporting on is, do you see what little Billy Bush and Trump talked about? That's all they harp on. They spent on the second debate. They spent over 15 minutes on that. Martha Ratitz wouldn't let go of it.
And not only that, when Trump wanted to talk about the email scandal, she cut him off. So did Anderson
So the
Cooper.
Vanderbilt kid.
So yeah, but this next one is going to be different because Chris Wallace is a real journalist. He's a reporter, and he is going to ask those questions, as I said, to tell us exactly how you're going to make the country better. And that's what he's going to focus on. He's not going to be like, and again, this whole pot calling the kettle black with Bill Clinton sitting in the audience. I mean, are you kidding? The guy should be in jail. He should be in jail for rape.
They should all be in jail. All of them should be in jail.
Yeah.
It's become professional wrestling. It's like in professional wrestling, even if everybody knows the bad, when the heel gets the belt and cheated, he still gets the belt, even though all the audience sees it and everybody knows it. He still gets the belt. It's the same thing that's going on here. Everybody knows it's cheating. Like everybody knows she cheated Bernie Sanders. It's just like everybody knows it, including Bernie Sanders. But yet he's living in professional wrestling world too, going, well, no, Hillary won and we need to support her now, and she doesn't represent big money interests or whatever he's thinking.
I don't know.
Which makes you wonder if he even would have been effective if he had won. If he folds this badly, he just completely folded.
Well, they would have pulled him in, the powers to be, and said, "Listen, Bernie, this is the way it is." And and of course that's the thing that's so scary to the true establishment about Trump is that he's not taking the call.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't, like, when they grab Obama wasn't multi-billionaire yet. When they pulled him in the room and said, all right, dude, he's a young guy, had the whole world ahead of him. It's like, look, we'll freaking take care of you we'll get you a Nobel Peace Prize. Just do what we say. Yeah,
you and Michelle are going to be partying big time every night here.
Right. Michelle might even have 60 assistants at her disposal. Come on. And
she does.
But Trump, he already has a big plane. He already has a big penthouse, right? He already has all this stuff. What does they can't go, yeah, look, Trump, we're going to get you a big plane. We're getting you a big plane. And he's already gaining all of his brand stuff through all this anyway. So, I would like to see him win just to put Hillary in jail.
Yeah.
Just to clean all that stuff up. Put Comey in jail as an accomplice. Put Wasserman Rat should be in jail. Donna Brazil should be in jail. Loretta Lynch should be in jail. They should all be in jail.
Yeah.
And
many of those, of course, have connections to Obama, which would be interesting to see how that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have some WikiLeaks coming out about Obama.
Well, Obama is just basically like throwing gasoline on the big fire that's catching up to his legacy. He's just basically, let me throw more gasoline on that fire. But he's so deep into it at this point, like he's already done his endless war. He just gave $20 billion to Saudi Arabia, gave it to them so that they can bomb Yemen, and in Yemen they all blame Obama for it.
Yeah. No, it's a bizarre world we live in, but stay tuned because I think this next debate is going to be the most interesting yet. Again, and it's not going to be because of the candidates, it's going to be because Chris Wallace is a real journalist. And I don't think he's being influenced by anybody. I think he's just going to ask straightforward questions about the real issues. And I hope it doesn't turn into the new head of Fox News says, hey, listen, we really need you to lean on this so we have some controversy.
Oh, they will. We already know they will. Because, once again, establishment Republicans hate Trump. Establishment Democrats hate Trump. Media hates Trump. banking industry hates Trump. Big Pharma hates Trump. New World Order hates Trump. Media totally hates Trump.
Yeah,
Legacy media completely hates Trump.
Which, of course, is the exact reason why someone should vote for him.
Which is why you should like Trump. I mean, he can't be as bad as what the monster they make him out to be. He can't be as bad as the monster. And Clinton cannot be the saint that everybody makes her out to be. I mean, all she falls back on is she did something for a children's fund when she got out of college. My accomplishments. I'm proud of when I mean, yeah, 70 years ago, you sort of did something to kind of, well, at the same time, you're laughing at lie detector tests with rapists. Yeah. At the same time. You're doing that.
Hey, the girl was only 12. She was asking for it. She liked older men.
Right. So, I mean, she's just freaking horrible.
Well, if you're a sociopath, as I said, all this stuff bounces off you because you're like, I never said that. They could have a video sitting right in front of her saying it, and she would say, I never said that.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, she's like Putin in the fact that she could shoot somebody in the head on national television, and the legacy media would spin it up. Well, she didn't know there was a gun in her hand, and how was she to know there was loaded? And she had no intent because she didn't know if you pull the trigger, it would make the bullet go into the person's face. There was no intent there. Let her off.
Yeah. It's the same thing. She was so stupid she didn't even know what the letter C meant on her documents.
Legacy media is so in the bag, it wouldn't, and uninformed voters would just go, yeah, but Trump and little Billy Bush were talking about groping some chick. Yeah, Trump is a monster. He's a monster. A monster, I tell you.
Yeah, that's the world we live in today. But the world has changed, as our Nobel laureate Bob Dylan said, the times they are a-changing. So, yeah, and congrats to Bob Dylan, he deserved it. But there it is, it's going to be interesting.